Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for my table talk. My name is Heidi Jakoby, and as many of you know, I ran for select board last year, and I will be running again this year. I've been in town since 1994. And my goal this year with my table talk shows is to give all of those who have created warrant articles through petition an opportunity to talk about them. And I know I'm curious because I need to decide how I'm going to vote on March 12th. I hope that you will make an informed decision and that this will help you. So today my guest is Cody. Cody, welcome.
Thank you, thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure, my name is Cody Wojcik. I am the president of the Southern New Hampshire Radio Control Club, which is based in Hudson. We fly on the capped landfill at 26 West Road, and I've been president of this organization for about 10 years now.
Oh, that's wonderful. And you know, I don't know about other people, but I know I was not aware of the club in Hudson. Cody, I understand that the Radio Control Club has been in town for many years and on the landfill since 1999.
Yeah, that's correct. So the club was actually founded in 1957, and we flew in Litchfield up until 2000 when we started flying on the 26 West Road Landfill. When we started flying there, we did a lot of work actually to flatten the top of the landfill.
Okay, so that was the delay between 99 and 2000.
Correct. Well, we were able to secure it in the fall of 1999 and then start in the spring of 2000. So one of the founding members of the club and the gentleman who secured the use of the landfill for us was Daryl Wagner, which is a name that might be familiar to some of your viewers. Maybe some of you are familiar with Wagner Way, which is Daryl built a lot of the homes on that on that road, and Wendy Drive and Wade Road. Named for his children.
Oh, wonderful. And I understand this is his plane.
This is actually, his plane. Daryl passed away sadly a couple of years ago, and he was a very dear friend to myself and a lot of other people, and he gave this airplane to me before he passed away.
Oh, that's nice. And what a legacy for him to have.
Absolutely.
With the history of Daryl, it's really nice to see what the field looks like now. So we're going to go ahead and show you a video clip of the club in action.
The Southern New Hampshire RC Club is a nonprofit organization that has been supporting and promoting RC aviation in the Hudson area for 57 years. Since 2000, SNHRCC members have flown at Wagner Field, which is on top of the capped landfill in Hudson. The flying site was named after long-term club member Daryl Wagner, a member and chairman of the Hudson Planning Board, and a former New Hampshire state legislator who secured the field for our use. Daryl unfortunately passed away in 2021. SNHRCC currently has 52 members, including Hudson residents. The club has members from all ages and walks of life, and Wagner Field has been the birthplace of many great friendships and memories. It has been the practice site of multiple national and world-level competition pilots, as well as a development site for RC products and RC media companies. Many engineers, commercial pilots, and even astronauts have started their careers with model aviation. With commercial and residential development, it has been harder and harder to secure good places to enjoy this wonderful activity. Currently, only 700 sites across the country have been approved as FAA-recognized identification areas, or FRIAs, and thankfully, Wagner Field is one of them. We feel it's more important than ever to preserve this flying site so that it can continue to inspire young and old alike in their careers and pastimes.
That video clip was really enlightening, and it was really neat to see the overall scope of the field.
Yeah, it's a really, really special place to fly. So a little background about what we do and RC aviation and model aviation in general. It's a very community-based activity. That's for a couple of reasons. One, it's quite difficult, so most people learn with the help of somebody else. So these clubs form where people can learn from other people and teach. And also, you need a very special area to do it. And the 26 West Road Landfill is perfect for us. The reason it's so great is because it's out of the way of anybody else. That's a lot of the reason that nobody knows that we're up there. It is situated with airspace with regards to the airports in the area, such that we don't interfere with any full-scale traffic. And in fact, we've worked with the Nashua Airport and the FAA to get permission to fly up to 1,000 feet and up to 1,500 feet with a phone call to the Nashua Airport. And that's actually somewhat unprecedented in this hobby.
Right. And right now, that opportunity to continue with the RC Club on that site is in jeopardy.
Yeah, sadly, in the fall, we found on the town website a request for qualifications for a number of companies to convert our site into a solar farm. So basically that would mean that we would be pushed out. The work that we did to flatten the top of the field would be used instead to install a lot of solar panels. A lot more solar panels would also be installed near the bottom of the field off to the area that we don't use.
Oh, okay.
But as it is currently, maybe some of you have seen in the town crier, that is the current proposal would basically end this 50-year-old club.
And I see that your group in response has created a petition warrant article. And I'm going to just briefly paraphrase it as you wrote it so that people who didn't necessarily know what was happening could really understand the breadth of why this petition has gone through. But essentially, the club is asking, and a number of citizens signed this petition warrant article to go on the ballot, is asking all of us as citizens of the town to allow the Southern New Hampshire Radio Control Club continued use of the West Road Landfill. That's what they're asking of us. So Cody, tell us a little bit about what led to this.
So the current petition article, if it is signed and goes through, simply allows us to continue to fly there and continue to be a great place for people in Hudson and the surrounding areas to enjoy the hobby.
Right. And you had said that there was an RFQ asking for companies to come forward about the solar farm. And it was my understanding that the club was not notified of this possibility.
Yeah, that's correct. So basically, because of how we operate, right, we don't want to be in anybody's way. We don't want to interfere with transfer station activities, for example. That's why we have a club rule where we don't fly on Saturday mornings. Because of that, a lot of people don't know that we're up there. And I think that's why this solar farm proposal got as far as it did, because a lot of people didn't have knowledge of our existence and what it would do to the club.
Yes, and that really must have been a surprise to you and your group that this went through without a conversation with you. I was surprised personally that the town did not discuss at the Board of Selectmen meetings about the fact that the Radio Control Club was using that site. I was at a number of the meetings, and I did see the surprise on some of the select board members' faces when the Radio Control Club came forward in public input about this issue. Through this process, I believe that originally the Board of Selectmen had stated that there was no agreement and nothing in writing. But I do understand that the club did eventually find that documentation and that you did bring it forward, but unfortunately it came forward after they had already approved the warrant for the solar farm. Sure.
I can go through and give you just a brief rundown of how this saga has kind of unfolded. So. It was in the fall, I believe, in October is when we made our first presentation to the Board of Selectmen that basically explained the club, its history, and what the solar farm would do to it. There was a lot of deliberation. The decision on whether or not to move forward with the current warrant article regarding the solar farm would go through or be sent back. And after a lot of discussion, they eventually had a split vote, 3-2, to send it through. During a lot of these discussions, it was stated that the club had no written agreements or any formal arrangements to continue to operate there.
Cody, I understand that the warrant article for the solar farm was voted on and was approved by the Board of Selectmen to go forward to the ballot. And then after that happened, you found the written documentation. Could you tell us a little bit about how that went?
Yeah, absolutely. So during some of our discussions and our meetings with the board, it was said that we were there on a handshake deal because a lot of land use during the time that we started flying there was done with just a handshake. Unfortunately, again, being a almost 50-year-old, all-volunteer nonprofit organization, we're finally able to dig up this written agreement, and we brought this to the board in our during public input. But unfortunately, they didn't reconsider their decision.
Right, and it would have taken someone who voted in favor in order to vote to reconsider, and none of the members of the Board of Selectmen would open up that conversation again. So therefore, the Radio Control Club, felt that you had no other avenue?
That's correct, yeah. So that's why we decided to put through our own petition warrant article. And the other thing is, if we were as well versed in how all these processes work, we would have done this petition warrant article a long time ago.
Right.
After the decision went through, we were able to uncover two, I think, very compelling things. One of those was an actual written agreement that a previous board had voted on unanimously in 1999 that would allow us to operate there. Another thing that we uncovered was a plot of land significantly larger than the landfill that the town owns. It's in Litchfield. It's currently, as far as I know, totally unused, and it would be, in my opinion, an ideal location for a solar farm. Solar farms are great. They can add a lot of benefit, but there's a reason we haven't bulldozed Benson's and put a solar farm in there, right? People are using it. People are using the West Road Landfill.
Yeah, and the West Road Landfill that you're using, I mean, that's a recreational location, and we don't have many of those in town, and it's really great that your club is fighting to continue to have that recreational space available. And I really commend the Radio Control Club for coming up with an alternate location. And I think all of those things need to be considered as we all go to the polls to make this decision. Because either way, if we want both, we can have both, just differently. And that's really my next question. Can you talk a little bit more about how we can share the space?
Yeah, absolutely. So at the beginning, before we were aware of kind of the full extent of what the plan was, we kind of thought that the solar panels would only be installed where we're currently operating, and it seemed like an either or. As more of that proposal came out, we found out that most of the panels, a majority of them, are installed down on the flat area below the cap where we don't operate, and they would not affect us. I was able to find a RC club in New York that has a very similar arrangement to that. And it's very simple. The town knew that the club was there and had been for a long time. They consulted them, and they just didn't put panels where the RC club was flying. At the end of the day, it's a slightly smaller solar farm installation, but they're able to maintain coexistence with both of these the club as well as the solar farm.
And that's in New York, they're both on the same land and they're sharing it. And all the many concerns have been addressed between the company owning the solar panels, the town, and the RC club, the Radio Control Club. And it has worked. So I find that fascinating. But also, again, I just want to reiterate that the Radio Control Club gave an alternate location, and you haven't heard any feedback on that alternate location from the town?
No, we haven't. No.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure we, as voters, all are aware of the details. I think you laid out the information very well. So why should the citizens of Hudson vote in favor of the RC group continuing to use 26 West Road, the capped landfill?
So the RC Club, the Radio Control Club, is kind of an example of an open space where where people can come and enjoy recreational activities. This is something that is very quickly disappearing in New Hampshire and in New England and everywhere. I think it's very important that we preserve this. And this is an opportunity for the town to continue to make Hudson a great place to be. Radio control is a gateway for a lot of people to get into important fields such as science, technology, and I'm a mechanical engineer, and I am a mechanical engineer because of my lifelong interest in this hobby. So we also support local businesses. There's a tradition of a lot of the people, a lot of the guys going to fly and then heading over to Rocco's after the flying session is over for a drink and something to eat. And that's something that will be lost if we lose this site.
I understand that you've also, it's a generational hobby that, I had someone talk about their 5-year-old granddaughter going up to the field and learning about flying. But I also understand that you donated money back to the town regularly in your history?
That's correct, yes. Since we started flying there, we've donated yearly to the recreational committee.
Oh, wonderful. So that you are giving back to the town.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of bonuses to having you continue.
And that's a gift. It's a token of our appreciation. It's just something that was not asked for.
Yeah, and I'm sure we all appreciate that, and I appreciate the opportunity to hear directly from you. And I really ask the citizens to reach out to the Radio Control Club members. There are many of them, and to really get your questions answered. Ask questions of the board, ask questions of them. Seek the information that you need to make the best possible decision on March 12th. So Cody, any final words?
Yeah, so we are not anti-solar at all, right? We actually have our own very small solar panel installation that we use to charge batteries for our airplanes. And we think that there is absolutely a way that everybody can coexist. It's just that at this time, the current proposal doesn't allow that. And the board members who voted against this warrant article voted against it in the hopes that it could be reconsidered and both entities could be there. And I really do think that if more people had known about us when this whole process had started, then we would happily coexist.
That possibly a win-win situation would have been created.
Exactly.
So the warrant article that went forward about the solar farm was a split decision by the board recommending it to go to the warrant, to the ballot. And the petition warrant article also went through as a split, and the board officially did not recommend it. So just so you know, make sure you look at your ballots and be informed and make your decisions independently. Thank you, Cody, for being here today. I wanted everyone to know that we will list the dates of those Board of Selectmen meetings where the RC Club was there in person and the conversations of the board. So we will list those all on our last slide so that if you want to go and take a look at those, you can. And please start a conversation. Write to the newspaper, write to the board members, write to your neighborhood. Get the word out and make an informed decision. Thank you for your time.